Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Rebecca Rose, Sirius Blue. I am happy to report that spring has really finally sprung here in Alaska in the interior. Just in the last couple of days, the deciduous trees, the birch, the alder, the poplar, and so on, have finally started leafing out just a little bit. I know some of you are already racing on into summer, and we have to count our wins here because the winter is so very long. Now, that connects to what I want to talk about today, which is land energy, land connection at a very quantum level, multidimensional level, and how we can live well in this life when we are also offering from our hearts to that quantum field of earth connection. And I've spoken in past videos about the Nagas. I think that was the 23rd video in the Bringing Light to the Darkness series, around the 1 hour, 18 minute. There's a timestamp on that video. You can go back and check my offering about this on that. The Nagas, the Sasquatch, and the violet ray. So we're going to go into all of that today and do some experiential journeying to help this be of benefit to you wherever you are on the planet, and up-leveling your earthly vessel to carry more light, because essentially that's what this is. When we ground and anchor more fully here, we are able to do that. We become those light vessels, higher frequency, grounding essentially the higher timeline for this earth. So we'll talk more about that in a moment. Just a little memo. My last video in the Bringing Light to the Darkness series, number 25, Inside the Belly of the Beast, the why of child trafficking and how it ends, has been shadow banned. So your clicks, your likes, your comments, and your shares are very, very welcome and helpful to the algorithm of that video, which I feel like is an important one in that it connected a lot of dots about the why of CP, the why of the trafficking, how these networks survive and flourish, where this all began, and how we get out of it. So thank you all who have followed along for the last 4 videos in the Bring the Light to the Darkness series. It's been quite a monumental enterprise on my end of moving through these just really, they're big asks on my journey, but it's also what I'm here for. And all of the land connection and the earthing and the grounding and the violet ray have really assisted me. And I'm going to show you guys how you can use that also to your advantage wherever you are and whatever you're going through. Also, we'll be having a guided journey on Thursday, the 21st of May, Uluru Stargate. For years, the energies of Uluru and grandmother energies connected to Uluru, below ground, water energies, all these things have been coming through. And it's important, and it's thematic today, it's relevant, that we offer something from our hearts to that particular gateway on the planet, and also allow ourselves to receive, again, from the crystalline grid. So you can come on in for membership to join that journey. It'll be probably 90 minutes anyway. We'll have some time to check in. If you want to hop on for the membership for a month, you'll also be able to come to the Q&A on June 5th, and a lot of other member perks and bling that you can check out in the links below. So let's move on to a brief context around the Nagas, the violet ray, the Sasquatch energies. What the heck has happened to me out here at the end of the road at the Galactic Outpost? I bought this property last summer. I've been here not quite a year yet, and as I was in the buying process, I'd seen etherically violet and white geometry surrounding the home and kind of anchoring through a crystalline point of an octahedron above, up into the stars and down into the earth. Now another apex of the octahedron heading down into the crystalline grid of the planet. I wasn't shocked to see that whatsoever, and I feel it around me now too, wherever I go. It's around the house and it's anchoring higher light. But over time being here at this property, and offering a lot of gratitude to the land and the trees. I'm very connected to the trees. I have special trees that I go and hug and talk to and share my life with. I'm alone out here. So nourishing. so nourishing, like living, they're very much living beings. You guys know this. Making contact with the trees and offering thanks for, whoever built this house, whenever, back 20, 25 years ago. Um, Surely they didn't supplicate the land energies, the living beings connected to the land before they cleared some area to build a cabin, right? So I went and made reparations for that and said, no more trees will be cut, and I'm here as a steward and, kind of at your service, so to say. And so over the winter, I had felt, I forget exactly when it was, I was in meditation. I felt these serpentine beings behind me, not for the first time. I felt Naga-like beings around me and the dragons. The dragons are, I have deep, deep, rich connection to dragons of many sorts. That's the topic of whole other videos, but I think it's kind of a twin frequency to some degree. There's some relationship there. However, the Nagas are very earthbound, and the dragons are interdimensional, across space and time, and quite beyond this plane. But I felt the Nagas behind me in meditation, and boy, they are powerful protectors. And they said, we're here because of the supplications you've made and the relationships you've made and reconnecting this land with something higher. And I know they said, it comes from your heart, and we know that. So we're here also to offer, let's say, favor to you. Remember, these beings are to some degree in our polarized realm. Now, I would not want to be on the bad side, let's say, of the Nagas, because, if you look, what's the origin here of the Naga energy? If you go back into Eastern traditions, I'm very familiar with the Tibetan tradition. If you look at the Nagas, they are water spirits, and um, keep them in your favor. Keep them in your favor. And there was just a rushing river of water out here in the gulch as the snow is all melting. So par for the course with all of this. In some of the old literature and the old texts, they might appear as a serpent with a somewhat humanoid portion of the body. You can look at old sculptures of the Naga king and these things. So I wasn't totally shocked, but I feel them around me and around my house, around the perimeter of the property. And this comes at a time when I've gone through everything I have from the 12-12, my child part's coming up, a lot more coming in about CP, and me going public, more with the graphic details of that, exclusive to CP. And my testimony, related to that is not necessarily something I speak to within context of the SSP when I speak on larger platforms. But that's all coming up and out, along with the death programming that I had to never remember and never tell. In other words, if you do remember or if you do tell, we will kill you. So the Nagas are around for protection. And let me get into the Sasquatch. Now, stay with me because we're going to go into an experiential guided journey to let you reconnect with wherever you are, do some cleansing, make offerings, and allow that violet ray energy to come through. The Nagas also, I'm going to talk about the Sasquatch. Let me back up for a moment and just say, the Nagas said to me when they came in a couple months ago, they said, there is a violet ray, and now that's connected to you too. And it's like, oh, this is violet ray energy. I didn't, like, what is the name of this violet white geometry and channel of, great channel of light, vast energy coming down from above and surrounding me and surrounding the house. What is that? They said, well, it's violet ray. So, which is what? Violet ray energy, limited linear English can be problematic because whenever we try and speak to quantum concepts, it can not quite do it justice, but the quantum energy of creation and a frequency bandwidth that illuminates higher wisdom and activates DNA. I mean, that's one way I could have a pithy way of describing the violet ray energy, how I understand it. It's definitely up-leveling me and up-leveling the energy here locally and also non-locally, bringing in higher light for the planet. Now, you can do this too wherever you are. Bear with me. Back to the Sasquatch, where there's a few different places, but it's all connected and all related. The Sasquatch also, I had very little relationship at all with Sasquatch energies, other than when they would come through for clients in session as guides and benevolent again, protector energy in many ways. So they appeared immediately last summer and fall, especially on my walks through, the hiking here. There's no trails. I go out and I'm walking just through the bush, basically, and so through a lot of deadfall and all kinds of things. It's adventure hiking for sure. But and I often go at night. That night window is over because it's light now for most of the night. But they're with me, especially when I'm walking. I feel them now as I'm recording, and on either side with it's almost like a hand, a gentle presence to the small of my back, which is where if I have stress or any kind of agitation, fear, that's definitely where I carry it. That's my my Achilles heel was right there in the sacral area. And we can understand why, given what I've been through. So they're always there. And they, again, this strong protector energy. The guy that I mentioned in the number 20, was it the 22nd video, when I went back in the Bringing Light to the Darkness series, when I went back and spoke to what exactly had happened on the 12/12. If that sounds cryptic, just go back and watch the 22nd video. Yeah, the 23rd and 4th and 5th. It's all connected. Child parts coming up. They want to talk about CP and what happened in very graphic, detailed portrayal. He left. He has pretty much ghosted me physically, emotionally, financially. So I don't have that like masculine support energy. And I think that's also another reason why the Nagas, the Sasquatch, and many, many other beings, there's so many beings that are supporting me, and they are protector energies. So grateful, so grateful. And that benevolent masculine field is very good in my system. That's somehow crucial to my own healing path. Yeah. So what does that mean for you? I want to say that when we're in alignment, really leaning into our journey, we're not journeying alone. We're not journeying alone. Help, support, protection are there. So one of the big lies we've been conditioned, programmed to believe in is that nobody has our back. We're by ourselves. There's no help. Especially if you've been through intense trauma. You can feel very alone. I know I have it at times on my journey as well. Often the guides say that, to me personally, but also to the wider collective of us. We're not doing this alone. So that's just a reminder. I know you know that, but we can forget, and we can forget quickly when we have something happening for us and we kind of feel alone, like nobody has our back. Yeah. So there's an importance to offering from our heart space to the land that we live on, even if you're in an apartment in the middle of Tokyo or in the middle of a slum somewhere, middle of suburbia. Don't have to be on, acreage of wild boreal forests like I am, but wherever you find yourself, the land beneath you is supporting you. So offering from our hearts a kind of thank you, a kind of prayer, and also receiving. So it's a two-way dialogue, a communication with the earth. And that could be very well the upper dimensional grid of the planet, or it could be a very earthy elemental connection or a primordial connection that you have. And it's unique for everyone. It's something to explore. Again, this helps us anchor high. We become strong vessels to anchor that higher light on the planet right now. If we've been traumatized a lot of times, and I see this in clients over the many years of working with people, that if we've had quite a bit of trauma, with or without knowing it, it's not always conscious, we can kind of lift ourselves up and out. Like, I don't want to be here. This place sucks. I'm in pain. Get me out of here. I want to go home. So yes, that's a great survival strategy, but it doesn't help us survive if we have a mission to stay here. It makes human life very difficult, and our day-to-day survival even itself can become chaotic. Yeah, so everybody is on their unique path. Regarding that with equanimity, you know, um, not everybody wants to connect to the land, to the earth, or to their life here. But in my experience, it's helped me tremendously to receive and also to give back and to understand my life's purpose in a more multidimensional way, in unexpected and perhaps even miraculous ways. So, um, with all of that said, I feel a Sasquatch here, a circle of light, circle of protective light. And again, I want to say too, when I'm speaking of, we anchor higher light on this planet. Boy, the Sasquatch really do that. Some people, when they glimpse them etherically, psychically, of course, they may at first glance look like big hairy creatures, and there's an element of truth to that. But I also see them as high-level light beings, and they're very connected to galactic goings-ons. I spoke about this in a other video. You can check that out. I'll link it below. And there's more to bring in I've channeled from them, perhaps coming down the line here in the future. But to the point that they have a very multidimensional nature and a lot of, oh my God, so much wisdom, so much wisdom. And I think like some of the insectoids, some of the beings that are difficult for us to look at because they can invoke fear in a human, because it's not what we're used to seeing in, let's say, two-legged beings or 4 or 6-legged beings. The insectoids, the ant beings say we can't work with humans because they're afraid of us and how we look. And it's somewhat, to some degree, I think that's true with the Sasquatch. Yeah. So I'm going to pause the beta brainwave talking points here and invite you to just have a breath wherever you are in this moment, day or night, somewhere in between. Have a breath and let the thoughts go, softening the mind. And just make yourself comfortable, whether you're in a chair or lying down. Kind of notice the quality of your physical form and anything that might want to release itself, anything that might want to release musculoskeletal kind of tension in the body. Have a breath through the, oh, if it feels good, yeah, breath through the kind of the shoulder girdle, through the collarbones, the shoulder blades, chest, the diaphragm. And let your rib cage kind of expand. Soft and gentle. Okay, so that violet energy, that violet ray energy just comes pouring through. If that's available to you, let it infuse you in whatever way, again, feels right to you. And just letting the hips soften. Oh, yeah, the sacral area, hip joints, all the muscles of the pelvis, hip flexors, pelvic floor. And just breathe through the belly. And let these soft, gentle energies support you in whatever way you need right now. Oh, yeah. Kulatelonia, Achifuya, Toriadi, Anatolia, do Futuya, Uchibukaruhonka, Lante Hoshe, Karahanakrina, Hataemoni, Bushwadi Lavonchi. Malavunchi. Let the your arms, yeah, shoulder joints, elbows, wrists, and hands kind of soften the back of the neck, cervical spine, head. The whole body kind of softening, melting the limits of the conceptual mind. Down through the legs, through the totality of the spine, central channel from the coccyx, perineum, up into the crown. The hips, knees, ankles, feet. Complex bone structure of human physiology. Let yourself kind of melt into the earth, just if that feels right to you. And it could be, oh yeah, it's quite a lot of, you might feel yourself also resting in an octahedron of violet light at the moment. Channel of white coming down through the sun, diamond light connecting earth, sky, and your heart. We have huch. We got no level chat, nigga have to me that on the cook kitchen. Wait you. Naroni at the shitter the done for mal, Caravaniki hunche, no? Tish. Oh, yeah, there's quite a lot of that violet ray energy coming down. So, Garotola ponche mokaroni, you might feel it through the occipital kind of lobe at the back of the head, and down through the shoulders, neck. Just notice that. And let it land in your heart space if you like. And Sasquatch and Nagas are here, and you might feel your own guides. Like this will open a gateway through the quantum field for you to have more connection with your spirit guides and higher self. And maybe some child aspects that want to come in and enjoy the protection and safety of the circle of our light and its magnanimity, equanimity. Yahunya di molobne hodi and now hot to put you Moche wale adone hatota ye vonta. Moche polia, muchachu ye pedalo tailo. And let the light language just massage anything within you that feels like it's old. Like old, I hear it as like outworn data packets. Yeah. Ingolanda did me on that shabokara. Don't cheat penny Danny hunt. Gulani watch ponia delo da badora but of Ninglada honchi punka, honchi huntiara hotaleuni. And you may have some sudden insight about like things you've been questioning in your life or things that you're uncertain about or the next move on something or some guidance coming in for you because we're opening up quite a bit of higher dimensional energy, tapping into something at a quite a deep level here today. And feel as if, and only if you like, if this is right for you, allow your awareness, your breath to be in correspondence with the earth, or correspondence with the earth, breath, communications with the living, breathing earth, upper dimensional fields of energy that come up from the crystalline grid. And the in-breath, you could inhale that through the feet, through the energy center, the very base of your field that's connected to the earth at a 5D level, upper dimensional level that is, connected to the 5D grid of the planet. Words are too small. It's just linear English. Let that go. And just breathe up, offering something of your heart light down into the earth. And you could really sense it in quite a elemental way through the forests and stones and rivers, oceans, deserts of your geophysical location. Your neighborhood, maybe a tree outside, something that you are connected to deep inside. What's outside your window? If it's something of suburbia or something, maybe another apartment complex, remember that below that is earth. And there's something akin to the unbreakable aspects of the human spirit, something always redolent, effusive, ebullient. The original blueprint of this planet has been seeded with all kinds of higher information. It cannot be deleted. And we can always tap into that. Have a breath through that and receive. And you will all have a similar yet unique experience of this. It will be more unique to you. exquisitely unique to you and where you are in your journey right now. And if you come back and listen to this a few times, it will be different every time. It's meeting you where you are. You see all these, again, this happened in one of the recent recordings, bouncing balls of like golden light that I always connect to land energies. I see them sometimes in the forest, or if I've been embracing a tree, I see all these bouncing balls of golden light, and I feel them as orbs around my recording space here, and just outside there's just forest and trees and this, and really see that like we're partake. This would be our pleasure, and we hope also your pleasure. Take what you need, leave the rest, and just notice what's alive in your heart space. Let your chest be radiant. Maybe let your hands reach out to the left or the right. Take up space. Allow your posture to be erect and dignified if you're sitting up. Take up space, maybe even stand. And feel the radiance that comes along the central channel, along the spine, really radiating out from the heart space. Maybe the solar plexus as well. Not to limit yourself from whence these energies come or how they expand from you. Not to limit yourself. And notice perhaps, the all of us resting here in channel of violet energy, the violet ray. Oh, and there's all these like, oh yeah. Let your crown open if that feels good to you. It's always up to you. Take what you need, leave the rest. Letting the light codes, this is like I would identify it as light language in my vernacular, but coming down through the crown in these, again, data packets come is what comes psychically in my audio system. Data packets of higher light, violet light. And you might sense something different, that's okay. Follow your own muse and internal guidance on that. And that might also want to land Sasquatch energy. You might feel them. We are here to hold and protect and keep you well. Yeah, thank you. And that's not just for me, that's for anybody. If you're here and you need assistance, you can call them in. And especially true if you are able to, willing to, curious about making connection at a deeper level with your earthly life. Allowing the earth energy to anchor you, ground you, as well, hold, protect, and provide for you. Give your heart to the land and it will give back to you. We may see the land as rocks and sticks and stones and stuff. There's more to it. It's all living creation energy. Oh, and just explore this for as long as it feels good. This is subtle and incredibly potent. Yes. Take heart, you've made it into life in human form. Now what? What next? You get to choose. What next do you wish to write in the book of your own life? Allow your child aspect to come in. Just rest with you. Hold him or her against your chest. Just if that feels good to you and feels right to you. Yeah, might be quite a landing of violet ray energy through the upper heart, the thymus area below the collarbones. Yura honya, chichi mukurabana koshe chimon yadun yatos tikrina je ukolonekadana. Allow your field to, your vessel to be filled with purifying white light through the envelope of your skin. You might feel that radiate also, reaching the bounds of the body into the energy field like you're sitting in an egg of white light. Allow that to purify any obscurations of the moment, long-standing or short-term. Ulato la banici per corbahato una invece mi cu vani la vani corona carone voce non corona conce nero hotel montioniella. And allow that violet ray energy to, again, if it feels right to you, fill your field with many different aspects of the light body as well as your physiology. You see this like string of crystals up the spine, correspondent not just with the conventional energy, the chakra system, but something else more, more high. So I'll let you guys rest with this as long as it feels good to you. Offering up the gift of the violet ray energy, the Sasquatch, the protector energies like the Nagas, many other beings. And you might be feeling quite a connection to spiritual guides and guidance at the moment. Remember that you came here with purpose, and if you're listening to this, one of those purposes might be to anchor that higher light for the ascension of this planet. Within this light stream, duplicity cannot abide. Within this light stream, duplicity cannot abide. And come back to this over and over. Let go inside of this field. Remember that you are loved. Yeah. No lo ognato shepetu mi hatavi daronche. Nikoria lavonte mini. My pleasure to be with you today. Oh, I'm also begun seeing clients who want to do really intensive work for a couple of days with me here in my place in Alaska. So there's an application process. Connect with me through my website if you'd like to do that or explore what that would be like. You do have to come here. Yeah, the energies are pretty special. And also, if you like this and want more of this, come to the journey on the May 21st Lunar Stargate journey, just very, very soon this week. And you can stay along for a month of membership or many months. There's also free sessions, longevity based, if you do stay on board with membership, one-on-one sessions, that is, with me, along with all the other perks. And of course, if you don't want to work with those group transmissions, you can always book a one-on-one session online. Links for that are below. So happy to be with you and know that you do not journey alone.